Are you a high-value woman or a low-value woman? Key differences. In this video, we are going to take a look at the key differences between a high-value woman and a low-value woman. A woman, like any other person in the world, could take you to cloud number 9 or make your life a living hell. Besides, it is not only about the woman, it is about how the two of you blend and melt into each other that determines how a relationship goes forward. Nonetheless, the importance of a high-value woman can't be underappreciated. She is what Christopher Hitchesn said about his mother: the cream in the coffee, the gin in the campari, the offer of a champagne or a fine wine instead of a beer, a laugh at the face of bores. Christopher said these words because his mother was a woman of the highest of values. Before we take at the key differences between a high-value woman and a low-value one, we'd like to say that these videos come to you for free. You can show support to our efforts by liking these videos and subscribing to our channel. All set then, let's dive into the differences between a high-value woman and a low-value woman. Number 1. Matter of strength. Who doesn't like a strong person in their lives? When you are in a relationship with someone, you are looking for the mental fortitude to deal with the ups and downs life presents. After all, a person's character is as good as his approach towards life. A high-value woman might have a few low points in her life, but she rises from the depths of her misery. A low-value woman, on the other hand, can be found to pine over every little thing that has happened in the past. That makes them a prisoner of their memories, and relationships don't foster. They tend to be either too needy or too reminiscent of the things gone by. We all want to be with someone who lives out their lives in the present, not with their past baggage of scars. More often than not, a low-value woman is just that. And the inner strength of a high-value woman also translates into physical strength. After all, it is too difficult to have a good life without the synthesis of a good mind and good body. This is why you can see high-value women take care of the physical conditions of their bodies by doing yoga, exercising, or hiking. After all, how can a person be expected to have a healthy attitude if their body doesn't quite help? It will come as no surprise if a low-value woman just stress eats too much, or that her eating habits are not healthy. Number 2. Calmness and peace. There are certain people you meet from time to time when the air becomes just magical by their very presence. They are beaming with calmness at the face of adversity and take everything thrown at them under their strides with consummate ease. Such is the effect of a high-value woman. And it is not that this is something a high-value woman is born with. Some people go through various tragic scenarios in life, and this prepares them for other unpleasant events in their lives. On the contrary, you can find that when things don't go as expected by the low-value woman, she panics quite easily. Calmness is not her forte, and this makes relationships with her quite tricky. She might get too vengeful or spiteful when you point out their slightest of mistakes. They're often unwilling to blend together in order to create something better. Relationships often come with some degree of sacrifices or compromises, but a low-value woman is not willing to make any of that. So, they often find themselves at the end of faulty relationships all too often. Number 3. A matter of communication. Can you think of any relationship that is fostered without good communication? I very much doubt that. Whether the relationship is with your friends or your family or your loved one, the key to having a healthy relationship is to communicate properly. It doesn't matter whether the communication is verbal or non-verbal, but the main thing is to ensure that you are properly expressing your opinions and giving a pleasant ear to others as well. A low-value woman would be someone who is not a very good listener. She is too self-absorbed and thinks her needs and priorities are a cut above everyone else's. You might see them as people who can't quite get their points across and are often resentful as a result. You can also see a low-value woman manipulating their partners in a relationship by stonewalling the other person repeatedly. By stonewalling, we mean that the low-value woman would shut down all forms of communication with their partners. Instead of taking the difficulties in a relationship head-on, they tend to walk away from them at every other opportunity, leaving an empty chasm which widens with every other misunderstanding. Number 4. Confidence in their own abilities. Can you think of a person who doesn't have any sense of dignity and self-worth? That is exactly how a low-value woman is like. She tends to possess no skills that can be appreciated, whether it be in terms of how well they can gel with a family, or whether they are good academically, or in terms of their overall demeanor, and even down to extracurricular activities. A low-value woman is too painfully aware of this. On the opposite end of the spectrum is a high-value woman. She is not your typical glorified hero of the movies who has everything from looks to charm to academics as well as other skills. She is someone normal, just like every other person you meet, but has a charm that comes about because they talk pleasantly, or enjoy the good company of their friends, or have a healthy, loving relationship with their partners. These things are extremely simple, and it is these simple things that a high-value woman gets right. One might think that a high-value woman should be too career-centric, but a high-value woman knows that life is better lived with some semblance of balance. So, you see them perform well in their studies or jobs, but also don't neglect the importance of families, spend quality time with their kids, and aren't too uppity about things. Number 5. Making you a better you. We see many movies where a guy, after falling in love with a high-value woman, becomes transformed for good. And these are images and prototypes based on the life events of various people. Have you never met a high-value woman in your life who inspired you to achieve higher things in life? We very much doubt that. But if you have not, you might meet someone like that pretty soon. On the other hand, a low-value woman will give this impression that she is ruining things for you. Number 6. Loving some of them is easier than loving others. Don't you think becoming friends or lovers or even being acquaintances is easier with some people than with others? We are reminded of the old Zenran poem, "The one who begins with ease is never not at ease, and always unaware of the ease of ease." Such are the relationships with high-value people and high-value women. They realize that relationships are precarious things which might end any day. And it is due to this realization that they tend to reciprocate your emotions and show some compassion. On the contrary, low-value people and low-valued women don't appreciate the beauty of things in action. They tend to underappreciate the people in their lives, and it is only when the magical people in their lives have said goodbye to them that they feel the gravity of things. With a low-value woman, you might have the feeling that loving her is more like a chore than something enigmatic. You might as well feel that you've loved her out of a sense of duty or responsibility, rather than for what love is truly done for, the sake of itself. There are many differences between a high-value and a low-value woman. You will feel that the high-value woman can be a person who will be by your side in the long run and ride the ups and downs that life throws at you. On the other hand, you're always skeptical with regards to spending time with a low-value woman, would be painfully miserable with them. And it is never the case that a low-value woman is something inherited. If a low-value woman prioritizes working on her faults and mistakes, she might as well become a high-value woman. But that will take some time to achieve, as people can't become high-value overnight. What other differences have you noticed between a high-value woman and a low-value woman? Let us know in the comments below. Also, don't forget to leave a like before you go. You can also support our channel by hitting the subscribe button and hitting the notification bell while you're at it. We'll see you soon with another video. In the meanwhile, you can take a look at the video on the screen.